My daughter didn't knock. She just stood in the doorway, mascara smeared, eyes hollow, breath shaking like a confession stuck in her throat. "Dad," he said, "if I don't, he'll fire me." She didn't need to finish. Her hands were trembling too much. Her dress was torn at the sleeve. The office party had ended 2 hours ago. I stared at her. The silence between us was unbearable. It was the kind of silence that makes a man forget to blink. "Who?" I asked quietly. She hesitated, swallowed, then whispered his name. Richard Hale. Her boss, the regional director. Married, 2 kids. And then the words that made something inside me shift permanently. He said, "Sleep with me, or your family is nothing." I don't remember standing up. I just remember dialing a number I hadn't touched in years. It rang once. A familiar voice answered. "Brother, it's me." A pause. Then 2 words. His name? I didn't tell him everything. Didn't need to. My brother and we understood silence better than language. He'd been a ghost since leaving Black Ops. No records, no home, just whispers. I knew calling him meant crossing a line, but I crossed it anyway. The next morning, my daughter couldn't eat. Every sound startled her. When I tried to speak, she flinched. That broke something deeper than anger. At work, I played my role, captain of internal affairs. The irony wasn't lost on me. The man who upheld the law now wanted it to look away. I checked Hale's personnel file. His record was spotless. Too spotless. Men like him don't leave bruises. They leave trauma disguised as fear. By noon, I had his schedule, his route, his habits. But none of it mattered yet. This wasn't about violence. It was about precision, about control. I called my brother again. He leaves the office at 6:30, drives alone. He said nothing for 5 seconds. Then, 72 hours, and hung up. Those 3 days stretched like a lifetime. I watched my daughter sleep, peace coming back in fragments. She smiled once in her dreams. That hurt more than her tears. Inside, I counted every hour. Every heartbeat felt like the click of a detonator. The city lived its ordinary chaos. Police chatter, meaningless complaints, routine investigations. I buried myself in paperwork, pretending I hadn't signed something with the devil. On the second night, I found myself outside Hale's home. Lights off, curtains drawn. The kind of neighborhood where evil wears a tie and says grace. His wife's car wasn't there. Business trip, maybe. He was alone. He didn't know a man was watching him. Didn't know another man was watching me. At midnight, my brother sent a text. "You still want this?" I typed 1 word. Yes. No explanation. No moral hesitation. I'd already lost too much pretending justice had rules. The news broke 72 hours later. Police respond to a 911 call. Male, late 40s, found in his home. Alive, but unrecognizable. The reporter's voice cracked. They said the scene was disturbing beyond comprehension. No forced entry, no theft, no fingerprints. Just precision. My phone rang that evening. It was Sergeant Keller, a friend from the force. "Cap, you might want to stay off the grid for a bit. The guy, Hale, he's not dead, but he won't ever speak again." I didn't reply. I didn't need to. I looked at my daughter across the room. She was laughing softly while talking to her mother. Color had returned to her face. She looked alive again. I went outside. The wind smelled clean. My brother was already there, sitting in his truck. He didn't look at me when he said, "It's done." "What did you do?" He lit a cigarette. Made him remember every word he said to her. And then? He blew smoke into the cold air. Then I took his voice. I met Hale 2 weeks later. Hospital, room 409. Security outside. Media forbidden. He lay there, bandaged, tubes in his arms, eyes wide open, still alive, still aware. But when he saw me, he began to shake violently, like some part of him remembered. I pulled a chair close, sat down. Didn't speak for a full minute. Finally, I leaned forward. "You said my family was nothing." He tried to speak. His throat worked, but no sound came. The terror in his eyes was louder than any scream. "You were wrong," I whispered. "We are everything." I stood, buttoned my jacket, and looked down at him, just a broken man pretending to be powerful. He tried to lift his hand, maybe to beg, but I was already walking out. Behind me, the monitor beeped faster. I didn't turn around. The department never found out. Officially, Hale suffered a psychotic breakdown. The investigation died quietly. My brother disappeared again. No goodbye, no thank you, just gone, like smoke retreating into the dark. Sometimes, late at night, I sit in my daughter's old room. Her laughter from downstairs reminds me of what was stolen and what was reclaimed. I don't feel guilt, only balance. Justice wears many faces. Sometimes it wears mine. I look at my reflection in the window. Tired eyes, steady hands, no remorse. People call what happened revenge, but they're wrong. It was restoration. And as I turn off the light, one final thought settles like ash in my chest. Quiet, brutal, final. He'll never hurt another girl again.